Amityville 2, The Possession. This one is kind of a prequel and a sequel. Most credited as a prequel, but I refuse to acknowledge that because this is not the DeFeo family we see in this, though it is loosely based on the events of the killings. And like how the first movie was based on a book, this one is also based on one, Murder in Amityville by Hans Holzer. Like the films, there was a series of sequels to the original book, though most of them continue the story of the Lutz family and how the evil in the house followed them to California. The movies, however, don't even seem to acknowledge the Lutzes after the first, instead only bringing up the DeFeo killings. Anyway, the movie is about the Montelli family. The father, played by Burt Young, who was Paulie in the Rocky movies, is an abusive man who's particularly bad towards the eldest son, named Sonny. During the night of the first hauntings, paintbrushes in the room of the young kids move on their own and paint a dragon on the wall, along with the words, "Dishonor thy father" in cursive, and then "pigs" in normal lettering before making the room shake and go nuts. The father had already gone downstairs because he kept hearing pounding at the doors and then goes up to investigate what's happening in the kids' room. The father looks around everywhere to see if somebody else was there, but then tries to beat his children thinking they did it. Dude, what the hell? I know your first instinct isn't a ghost did it, but it's freshly painted in perfect cursive writing in a room with 6-year-olds in it. How stupid are you? For some reason, despite this supposedly being a prequel, the source of the evil in the basement isn't the red room anymore. It's some of the other area of the basement where the wall lifts up and inside of it there's mud? Tar? Poop? We don't know, but that is apparently the source of the evil now. And no, they never paint it red. The father, being the dick that he is, refuses to let a priest bless the house, and when the mother tries to get the priest to do it in secret, the house retaliates and makes him think blood is coming out of his tools. The mom seems to be going nuts under all the pressure, not just from the earlier hauntings poking her, but also the problems related to Sonny. The house is talking to him through his Walkman, trying to get him to kill his family.
Kill your family! Kill your family! Must kill family!
It even starts to transform him physically into a demon. Under the influence of the house, he even has sex with his own friggin' sister. That's messed up already, but then the house finally takes its toll on him, and he goes around murdering his family with a shotgun. Again, despite this supposedly being a prequel, he doesn't look like Ronald DeFeo or how George Lutz started to look when the house was screwing with him, but whatever. We'll say it's a sequel or a reboot at this point, considering everything else they've changed. The priest, in the meantime, knows something's up, especially after the failed blessing. He appeals to the higher-ups in the church to authorize an exorcism on the house, but they refuse to get involved. Unlike the first movie, the Priests Subplot actually is significant to the film, except they take things in the wrong direction. You see, Sonny murders his family only an hour into the movie. The other 40 minutes suddenly turn the whole thing into an Exorcist ripoff. Sonny has been arrested and the priest still wants to perform the exorcism, mostly because the demon of the house is still possessing Sonny. Although that raises up a huge plot hole. Why is the demon still possessing him? The demon won! The kid's family is dead! He's in jail, so what the hell does the house hope to accomplish now other than get more attention on it from the priest? Well, that actually does seem to be the only reason it's doing anything, since the house actually calls him on the phone to taunt him some more.
Father Domsky? Father? I'm worried. I'm worried about Sonny. Afraid of him. I don't know why, but I think he wants to kill us.
The priest manages to take Sonny away and tries to bring him to a church to perform the exorcism, but Sonny escapes and flees back to the house, where we enter full-blown exorcist territory. Naturally, there's a reason why this sort of thing is performed by 2 people instead of 1, so the priest starts getting his ass handed to him by the demon. He appeals to God and finally to the demon itself, challenging it to enter his body and leave the kid alone. Just like in The Exorcist. Sonny is taken away again by the police, and the priest discovers that, shock of all shocks, he's possessed by the demon! Well, what in the hell did you expect to happen when you told the thing to take you instead? And of course, you remember the priest possessed by a demon who was still living in the house in the first movie, right? Yep, seamless prequel. I make fun of this movie, but it's actually not all that bad. Its biggest problem is, as I said, that it stops being a haunted house movie an hour in and completely shifts gears. However, I do think it has awesome cinematography. They really play with the camera in this one and do some interesting things with it and the effects as Sonny becomes more and more possessed. A scene I especially love isn't really all that necessary, but it's more about mood. The priest is standing outside the house and glaring at it, but what gets me is the snow. I don't know what it is, maybe it's because I've experienced a lot of Minnesota winters, but I find the concept of a heavy snowfall at night to be, pun not intended, chilling. There's something about the cold atmosphere and clean, almost quiet desolation that comes with everything covered in snow, but with very little light on that I find haunting. It's a pity that so few horror stories seem to take advantage of this kind of setting. Overall, Amityville 2 is very hit or miss, but I definitely think it's worth a watch, if only for the cinematography.